Kia ora. This is Sarah, and I'm going to talk you through how to apply to list your organisation on the Family Services Directory. You might be wondering what you need before you start applying to list your organisation. So some necessary things are basic organisation details, so how to contact you and the services and programs you might offer. And definitely up-to-date costs and any referrals that you require for people to access those services and programs. Useful but only optional if you can supply other identifying numbers such as a charity's commission number, if that's applicable, or a New Zealand business number, that's really helpful. But again, that's only if that's applicable. Do make sure you have time to complete the form in one sitting. Should take between 10 to 15 minutes because after 2 hours of inactivity, the form will time out for security reasons and you'll have to start over. This is a video showing you how to access the application form. If you navigate to the Family Services Directory homepage, there's a link, Apply for Listing. That will take you to a welcome page telling you the sorts of things that you'll be including in your application, and with an Apply for Listing button at the bottom, that gets you started. I'm going to walk you through the first section of the online application form, Provider Information. So pay attention to any fields that have the word required next to it. You'll need to complete these in order to progress to the next step in the form. I'm just showing you a pretend organisation that I've made up, and you'll note that I'm just going to copy and paste that name into the legal name section. If your organisation doesn't have a different or specific legal name, that's the best way to fill that section in. So provider type is required, and so is office type. So I'm including non-government organisation and branch for this application. I don't have a New Zealand business number or charities commission number, so I'm going to scroll right past that. This is where I'm going to include a short summary of the sorts of things that this organisation does. When published, this information appears on the search summary of the Family Services Directory. So it's basically the first thing that people will see, but it's also quite a short introduction. And if you have a website or more than one website, if you have a Facebook page, you can include those here. Geographic coverage is where you can tell people what areas of the country you can provide services to. So not just where you are located, but where you offer services. So the next step in the application form is contact information. Now, aside from the section at the top, which is the administrator contact details, this is where you can include information about how to contact your organisation and where you might be based. It's really important to have a clear idea of whether you are entering information about a branch of an organisation here or a head office. So if this application is for a branch, then definitely include the contact details specific to that branch rather than the national office details, for instance. And it's important, if you can, to include a physical location because that will help when your organisation listing is published, then people can search for it based on a specific area of the country, and organisations that have a physical address that is local to that search will be prioritised in the search results. So yeah, it's really important. So starting the walkthrough, excuse me. So this first set of details is not published, so you can put somebody's name in there rather than a role or title, and a personal phone number and email address, and just feel secure that that's not going to get published to the directory if you would rather it didn't. It just gives us some information to follow up with you about your application, to let you know when it's been published and to let you know when it's a good time to review the details that we've got. So here are the published contact details for your organisation. You'll need to include at least one phone number or email address, but feel free to supply whatever is applicable. And again, this information will be published to the search summary page. So your phone number, the first email address, and the physical address. This is a typical address finder form, just to make it a bit easier for you to specify your physical location. If it doesn't show up in that suggested addresses section, you can enter or edit a physical address to show a different set of information. And again, availability is also published to the search summary, so it's important to complete this section so that people know when to contact you. Okay. The next section of the application form is about the services and programs that your organization offers. You can approach this section in two ways. Either you can complete this add a service or program form generally for all of the services and programs that you offer, so you could list them all bullet point form, or you can complete this section for a specific service or program and then choose to add another one and another one, up to 15 different individual services and programs. The sort of thing that will help you decide what approach to take is whether or not you have services or programs that have different cost or referral information that you want to supply. So if you have a service that's free, but then there is a program that you offer that comes with a cost, you might want to fill those out as individual services and programs so that you can supply that specific information. So just walking you through here. The first thing is to select a type, and we've got some help text there to identify what we might mean by service and program. If your service or program doesn't have a specific name, you could just apply a generic name such as counseling or therapy or support. And then optionally, you can describe that service or program in a fuller way. You can see that there's a character counter for this field, letting you know just how much room you've got to supply. So you can supply quite a bit of detail in here. You need to supply whether or not the service or program has a cost, and if it does have a cost, how much it is. You can choose to supply any concessions if they apply. And importantly, with referral, just please specify if somebody needs to have a referral to access this particular service or program. Here you can see that I have got one service added, and that I can choose to add another one. So this is where I would complete the form for another individual service or program. You'll see the linked field is optional, but often you will want to fill that out if you are looking at a program that has a specific start and finish or a specific number of sessions. Again, delivery method is just an idea of how the service or program is offered. And here there's the service and the program both listed there. We can view and edit the details, or we can progress on to the next step. So the final section of the form is the submit page. If you have any additional information about your organisation or your services that you haven't supplied on a previous page, you can do that here. It's not automatically published, but it will be useful to supply that information here for the people who are reviewing the application. If you wish to review any previous information, you can choose to go back or you can submit the form. When you do, you will see a confirmation message, and that includes a reference number. It's a good idea to write that down so that if you need to contact us, you can refer to your application by number. So if you think you included some information in your application that isn't correct, you can send an email to updates@familyservices.gov.nz. One of the team can make any changes that you require or confirm what details that you have submitted so that you know that everything is correct. So after your application has been submitted and we receive it into our administration portal, we will process it within 10 working days. And if we need more information, we'll let you know. Otherwise, you'll get an automatic confirmation message when your application has been published. This will include a link directly to your published listing so that you can see it and ensure it's correct. So what happens next? Can you change the information on your listing? Yes. You can use the provider login page to view and edit your details at any time. When we confirm that your application has been published, we will send a message to the administration contact email address with a link to provider login, and you can use that administration contact email address to log in with the password that we supply. And that will take you straight into the form where you can see the information that you've got and make changes and submit those. Otherwise, we will send you a reminder in 10 months' time to make sure that everything is still correct. That's the end of this presentation. I hope it's been useful. Please do send us an email to updates@familyservices.govt.nz if you have any questions or need further information. Thank you.